All right, hello there, and welcome to this brand spanking new edition of 5RoundMMA. My name is Alex Myers, alongside me is Albertita. Guillermo Cena wearing his Lob.
May the fourth be with you.
May the fourth with you. We're also wearing his
This
Lob
airs
City.
on Monday. It's what's the Monday one, Oliver? The Revenge of the Fifth. So technically, it's the Revenge of the Fifth.
Let's actually go Cinco de Mayo, bro. I don't know.
No, I celebrate Revenge of the Fifth. I don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
Okay.
So.
Guillermo's wearing his Lob City t-shirt celebrating the Clippers Game 7 victory over the Golden State Warriors. Nice to see all is well in Clipperland. After a tumultuous week, right?
So now we take on OKC. I'm really excited. We needed to get out at least out of the first round to justify our 56-win season.
Yep. Also, switching over to MMA, another big for Guillermo. Cain Velasquez will be returning in November in Mexico City. Also coaching. Exactly. Also coaching a tough Latin America against Fabricio Verdum. Do you think if Travis Browning would have won his fight against Fabricio Verdum, he would have coached Tough Live, or would it all just went, Tough Latin America all went to the?
I think it would have still happened. It's
really?
just it would have been a little bit more awkward.
Really?
I think so with Travis Browning.
Because it's kind of weird, like how you think, like, okay, so like,
well,
obviously they had to get with the networks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's always like,
well, if Travis Browning would have won, well, the question you should have asked yourself: does Greg Jackson speak Spanish? That's what you should have asked yourself.
But the thing about Travis Browning, he has a good, he's being good competition. So there's a way to sell Travis Browning.
Yeah.
But there's an even better way to sell Verdum.
Yeah. Obviously, one thing I thought was weird too is that this edition of Tough is going to be filmed in Las Vegas, from what I read.
Wait, you just blew my mind because I thought it was in Mexico with Mexican fighters.
No.
The
Tough,
finale is going to be in Mexico.
But
it's not Tough Mexico. It's Tough Latin America.
Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not just
with
for
Coach
Mexico.
Fabricio Verdum and Coach Cain Velasquez. It's not I know, bro. If it's not the W Network, I know you're not watching it. But it's Tough Latin
It
America.
makes more sense bringing them into Las Vegas than trying to do it somewhere in Latin
Mexico
America.
or
Colombia or something.
Yeah, imagine that. Your whole crew. I mean, they do it in Brazil, but still.
Yeah, in Brazil,
I think it's a
Brazil
lot
is just
easier
the same
to do
as
in
Mexico,
Vegas
I
than it
heard.
is Latin
Yeah.
America.
Well, anyways, that's I thought a big news we're going to talk about, because obviously we're all big Cain Velasquez fans and stuff
Huge
here.
Cain Velasquez fans.
So today's show, we got MFC Middleweight champion Smilen Sam Alvey on the show. He's got a big title fight coming up May 9th for the MFC.
Against Wes Swofford.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also talking about the best title reigns, and who knows, Salvi could be in the picture pretty soon.
We're talking about later on the most dominant title reigns in MFC, UFC, WSOF, Bellator champion, WWE, MMA history. So we're going to discuss that later on. But as for right now, let's make some fact or fiction.
Let's do it.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. So MMA world still kind of reeling about last week's Jon
Are
Jones's.
you literally Googling fact or fiction right now?
No.
Trying to get upper hand.
I'm just
Obviously, Jon Jones took care of business with Glover Teixeira. It also came out Glover Teixeira kind of hurt himself right in the middle of the fight.
Yeah, in the first round, he kind of hurt his bicep, and then the eye poke later on.
So, Jon Jones, obviously, in the middle of his dominant reign, and Glover Teixeira was considered his most dangerous opponent. So, first statement I want you guys to fact or fiction. Glover Teixeira will one day have UFC gold around his waist. Guillermo, fact or fiction?
fiction.
Why so?
I think Glover Teixeira now.
Was that his best shot against Jon Jones?
Yeah, I mean, and the way he got to Jon Bone Jones, he didn't face the best competition in the light heavyweight division to begin with. So, I mean, that was his best shot to get the gold. I don't think, and then given his advanced age, I don't know how old he is, but I know he's probably mid-30s, I want to say. So his title run is slipping.
So no.
I'm going to say fiction.
Fiction?
Yeah. Because that was it for Glover. That was literally it.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll even sniff a
Thank you.
shot
That's
again?
a point for me, Oliver.
Congratulations, Glover. You're at the back of the line.
Wow.
And by the time he gets back in front of the line, it'll be a little bit too late. And I think Father Time catches up to everybody, and it will just be too late. Because I honestly think he has to beat 4 more people just to get back to where he's at. So
I wouldn't say 4 more people. It just depends if he beats the top 5 people.
Yeah.
To get back into contention.
2 weeks ago, this guy was the most dangerous man.
And I love Glover.
Yeah.
And he's a good friend to 5RoundMMA.
He is.
He is. But Like I said, I really do think that he has to. Even if he goes and fights Phil Davis, knocks out Phil Davis, it's still. I don't think it's enough to put him back. I think
it just depends if Jon Jones is a champion, but I don't think after this loss doesn't put him under the top 5. So he's still top 5.
The best thing that can happen to Glover is if Alexander Gustafsson wins or DC gets it, because then he gets back in the mix. Yeah, but if as long as Jon Jones is champion, he's 4 fights away.
But that's why I say fiction, because he can't be Daniel Cormier, he can't be Gustafsson.
I think both guys can be Jon Bones.
All right, so sticking with Jon Bones Jones, he also took care of Glover Teixeira. He has Alexander Gustafsson coming up next, maybe possibly Darren Cormier down the line. But after that, the division's getting kind of thin. So I think he's pretty much cleaned out the division. So do you guys see Jon Jones? Well, okay, here's a statement. Jon Jones will move up to the heavyweight division in 2015. Albert, fact or fiction?
Fact.
Fact?
Fact.
Why so?
Well, just like you said, well, if he could be Gustafsson DC, there's no reason for him to stay in 205. So that's one scenario, and then he eventually goes up to heavyweight. The second scenario is he can say whatever he wants. We all been in the early 20s and see how the weight is there. When you get older, it's just
I'll tell you that for sure.
You know, this shirt used to fit me loose. I'm not gonna lie to you, but eventually everyone always packs on the pounds. It's just it's a natural progression.
Stuff too,
and the guy is not a short guy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking about like Pat Barron. He's a tall guy, so. It's only natural that he gains more weight because of his size and his, you have to keep everything aspect ratio correct. So,
Karen, what about you? I know obviously came last as champion. You want to see Jon Jones? Will he move in 2015? As soon as 2015?
Fiction. 2015, he will not move up to the heavyweight division. There's still a lot of contenders that will keep him busy. There's still injuries. There's still, up and coming like Daniel Cormier. Yeah. He's going to fight Alexander Gustafsson. Just think about that. That's already 2014. Maybe Phil Davis. Maybe he wants to fight him again.
I got 2 more points.
Okay, go.
But wait. He's to his point that, we do pack on the weight as we get older. Jon Jones is a good friend of mine here on FiveRoundMMA, and he's 26 years old. So
that's what I'm saying. That's usually when you start.
But he works out compared to us. Come on, bro.
He actually compared to Albert.
No, but
he goes through a training camp. He goes through weight.
Dude, it's science. Metabolism slows down as you get older.
No matter how
diet. You can't work out your metabolism, bro.
Do you do jiu-jitsu on a daily basis?
I do. We do a little jiu-jitsu here and then. Ollie the Charlie.
He rolls around in the playground.
My point is that he doesn't do hardcore cardio.
I mean, we're still
training.
We're still white belt.
He doesn't do hardcore training.
It's because we haven't sent our tape to the Gracies.
He'll be 27 years old, so he'll still be young enough and still in shape. I don't think he has a problem. I think towards the end of his career, supposedly
can I come off? We're running out of time in this segment. I'm even getting my 2 points. No, I got 2 more points.
Okay, go for it.
Let me say my points real quick. One. To make it even more, if he were to lose to them, I think he goes to the heavyweight division too.
Okay.
Just because he wants to start fresh. The other thing is people forget when champions become champions for a long time, they don't like to go through the little hassles anymore. Look at Mayweather. That guy was crying over gloves. Here
we go. There's a point he wanted to get to. Mayweather. And we come full circle.
It's because Albert's never been pampered.
And so when champions get too comfortable, they don't want to do the weight adjustment. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to want to make a big weight cut anymore.
He's 26 years old. Albert's never been pampered. The other thing is, if you lose, wouldn't you want to avenge your losses? Didn't Anderson Silva say he would not fight Chris Weidman for the second time?
Yeah.
And yet he told himself, well, I got showed up by Chris Weidman. There's no way he can beat me.
Yeah, when you offer him $10 million.
You got to avenge your losses. I think if he loses, more reason for him to stay in light heavyweight.
Okay, the third one. This was also near and dear to Gambo's heart. Conor McGregor is coming back. He was announced he's going to fight Cole Miller.
Big step up, right? Conor McGregor, big step up.
That's a step down. But
UFC Dublin main event. But I want to ask you, fact or fiction, Conor McGregor will challenge for the featherweight title in 2014.
Fiction, not in 2014, early 2015.
Really? You think? Wow. I mean, like, you got what? I think
he just tore his ACL.
There's only Chad Mendes, and that's it.
And then maybe I think
Chad Mendes, you got Frankie Edgar, you got BJ Penn showing
up.
You got
I think if
Cub
BJ
Swanson, you have Ricardo Lamas. Come on, you want me to name the whole featherweight division for you?
But Jose Aldo already beat all those guys already.
Yeah, and I understand that, but Conor McGregor is right now currently ranked like about 14.
Not only will I say fact,
but with his mouth alone, bump him up to number 4.
Not only do I say fact,
Cole Miller.
Not only do I say fact, but he gets a title shot first. He gets
over
a title
Chad
shot.
Mendes?
Over Chad Mendes. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I think this guy hasn't looked in the calendar recently. We're in May. bro.
He can fight in December.
There's still 6 months.
You're
You
telling
can
me he
easily
beats
fight-
Cole Miller and he gets Jose Aldo?
If he stays healthy, he can fight 3 more
Maybe.
times.
He beats Cole Miller and he faces Jose Aldo. Come on, bro.
Look
Yeah.
at the
This
Cowboy
isn't Glover
Cerrone's fought
Teixeira.
like 8 times already.
This isn't Glover Teixeira.
Jose-
And there's way better
What are
contenders
you
in the
talking
featherweight
about?
division.
No, there's not.
I mean, not everybody
I
can
told
be
you,
on
I
the-
made your list.
They don't want to give him
Cub
Chad
Swanson.
Mendes.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
they don't want to
saying,
give it to Cub
what if he,
Swanson
TJ
what if
either.
he
Frankie
completely, what if he
Edgar?
completely dominates Cole Miller and just like talks his way up to the?
That's
'cause
what I'm
obviously,
saying. That's
I know,
what I'm saying.
I know Conor
He
McGregor
called out
more.
Diego Sanchez. What if he takes a fight with Diego
Chael
Sanchez at
Sonnen
155?
got a title shot with Jon Jones without even fighting one person in 205. And you're gonna tell me if
But
he
had
if he
just fought
destroys
for
the
the
guy in his,
championship at
in his
middleweight.
But I mean, his mouth usually good. I mean, I think Conor McGregor might see some sniff.
we gotta
title.
look at the past. Chael
No.
Sonnen got
He's
his
coming
title
off
shot
ACL
because he was a
injury.
good
I can see
speaker.
why he took the fight with Cole Miller,
Yeah.
but Cole Miller is a step down in competition. You can't justify him giving him a title shot.
But that's
beating
at
Cole
least
Miller.
fighting. He's
That's
at least
true.
fighting in his weight
Even
class.
with-
Chael
even
Sonnen
with-
did it without even fighting
with
once.
with speaking as much as he does, a fight with Cole Miller does not guarantee him a shot. To,
All right. Well, speaking
to
of step
Jose
down in
Aldo.
competition,
I can't wait till they announce Conor McGregor, Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo.
It's not gonna happen.
I'm gonna put the poster up right here, right behind his head. This is a show.
Speaking of a step down in competition, Jake Shields has recently announced that he will fight John Finch for his World Series of Fighting debut in July. Fact or fiction? Jake Shields will be World Series of Fighting welterweight champion.
No fiction, because
Okay,
he
good,
loses.
he
He
started.
loses to John Finch right off the bat.
God, you want Guillermo will be champion?
Fact.
Fact?
Well, who in the World Series of Fighting is there?
John Finch.
Dude, John Fitch, the guy, and then there's Berkman that choked John Fitch out, and
So
then you have the current champion right now.
Yeah, thank you.
Pajares.
That's what I was waiting. That's
No,
what
it's
I
because
was
he has a weird name, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Who's
Pajares.
Pajares?
Pajares is their champion right now,
Real
and
quick.
I think he can beat Jake Shields.
So you don't
real
think-
quick, but real quick, do you guys want to watch that fight, Jake Shields versus John?
Not really,
John
but
Finch?
yeah, it'd be worth watching. I mean,
No, I'm gonna watch it because they don't do pay per view. You can watch it easy on.
Okay, so would you
but-
pay
but-
to see that?
But
No,
really,
you see,
really
that's a
quick,
different
before
question.
Jake Shields got fired from the UFC, he
Yeah.
was a top fighter in the UFC.
But
Yeah.
let's keep it real. I wouldn't pay to see Jake Shields in the UFC.
When John Fitch, yes, he would. When
I
John,
think
That's
he
a
did.
lie.
We were all there.
What pay per view did I purchase?
We're some pay per view. We were
'Cause
there.
yeah, Jake Shields fought.
Yeah, with Jason Hendricks, a good fan of the show,
And
purchased it. Of course, I
sometimes
went to
correspondent as well,
Yeah.
contributor.
No, but at the time when John Fitch left the UFC,
You know what? We're over time.
Last
This
one.
segment, get to the last one.
he was under the top 10.
Jon Jones versus Gustafsson 2 will take place in Sweden. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. I mean, sorry, fact.
Fact.
Fact, even
Fact.
though it
It has to
shouldn't.
be. Oh well, but that was fact or fiction. Jon Jones is a hot topic for you guys. I mean, dang, we spent like 5 minutes on Jon Jones alone.
He's the reason why we had a delay last week. If people were like, "Why is 5-Round MMA not up?" It's because we went 2 over on John. Look, he's doing it again.
Again,
Let's get to
I'm
the second
saying,
segment.
And John Bon Jones is
cut
good
it.
for the
Cut
company.
it.
All right,
Stick
stick
around
around,
next.
man.
Sam
Sam Alvey
interview
coming
with
up,
Sam
MFC
Alvey.
champion.
Please visit FiveRoundMMA.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. FiveRoundMMA.com.
All right, join us now on the 5-Round MMA hotline brought to you by Redemption Martial Arts. Redemption Martial Arts leading the charge to the anti-bullying awareness. Go to redemptionmartialarts.com to see how you can join the anti-bullying awareness program. Join us now as MFC Middleweight Champion, Smilen Sam Alvey. Sam, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. How are you guys today?
Great, man. I want to thank you for taking the time to speak to us. You know, we got you got a fight coming up next week. You know, training camp's like almost there. I just want to thank you for your time. But how's that coming along? You got less than a week away from your title fight. How's everything going? Everything like right in place? Good stuff. Where to go?
Yeah, everything's great. My weight's wonderful. I got some glove scrapes all over my face. So other than that, everything's going great.
The casualties of training, right? Like this time, are you going kind of hard, kind of soft? How's the sparring session going?
Last week was my last hard week, and it was great. So could you, Tom Galicchio,
Oh wow.
Jesse Taylor, Tarek Safadine, Dan Henderson. Just everyone was whooping my butt.
Oh wow.
But, you're going hard, pushing through it, and next week's gonna be good.
And then, real quick, Sammy, this is actually a pretty exciting matchup. I mean, your last 2 victories were TKO. The Wes has like 8 knockouts. I mean, this is like almost on paper going to be a big old slugfest, right?
Yeah, on paper it should be. Hey, the only problem is the dude's so tall. I don't know if I can get to him.
Yeah, he's a pretty big dude.
Yeah.
Like, did you bring guys in specifically for that, or did you just kind of like, oh, I'll let my reach kind of when I get in the ring, I'll let my reach, find it there.
Yeah, I think I still have the reach advantage, but he's got a few inches on me, and he's one of the tallest guys I've fought. So I've really been trying to work with some guys that are taller than me. just to work on some speed, getting in and out real quick.
Yeah. Obviously, Smilen said you're known for your knockout power, but do you think other fighters kind of underestimate the overall skill of your whole game?
Yeah. Truth be told, I don't look like a typical fighter. I think that the big grin and pasty skin kind of leaves fighters a little at ease. And they all know I hit hard, but it's easy to know somebody does it and then really know somebody does.
Yeah, well, I think everybody has a game plan until they get hit, right?
Yeah. My game plan's the same in every fight. I want to hit him harder and more often than he hits me.
There you go.
And most of the time, it works out all right for me.
And then, real quick, Sammy, you already 3 fights in MFC. Have you adapted to the ring, or do you think it's still weird to fight in a ring?
No, I've adapted very well. I had a few fights before MFC that were in the ring, so I've had some practice. Team Quest has got Dan Henderson's Pride Days ring in it, and so I've always had a ring to practice in, and it's really just part of my game now. And I move well in it. I use the corners very well. My last fight, I think I used the corner a little too much, but I've made some tweaks, and I don't think it'll be a problem this time.
That's speaking with the MFC, we had President Mark Pavlich on a while ago, and this guy obviously 100 miles per hour all the time, but he's actually out there promoting the organization, promoting you guys. What's it like working for a guy like that who knows he has your back and is looking for the best interest of the company?
Mark's great. I love working with him. Love working for him. He really promotes the sport well. He promotes us fighters well, and he takes care of us. He understands he can't have us fighting on his card, all year round. So he even gives us special permission to fight outside. A few months ago, I had a heavyweight kickboxing fight, and he was always like, "Yeah, go knock him out." So I did, and he's always like that. If there's another opportunity that works around the MFC schedule, he's all in favor of us doing it.
Speaking about not fighting every card, last year you actually fought 3 times. This is gonna be your first fight in 2014 for the organization. Are you looking forward to fighting like 3 times a year, or it's just by when the opponents come?
I wish I could fight more. Last year was a little slow year. This year I'm already on schedule to beat last year. I fought 1 Muay Thai fight already. Now I have May 9th. I fight May 31st back in Wisconsin, and then I have another Muay Thai fight on June 7th. So I'm hoping to stay as busy as I possibly can.
And then, sticking to that you got fighting outside MMA. Just recently, Pat Barry fought in Glory, and he was in the wrong end of that. Do you think it's a risk factor for an MMA fighter to fight it in a different realm and then lose? Do you think it'll affect you as far as being an MMA fighter, or maybe even the psyche?
You also had Chris Cyborg fight a Muay Thai fight, and she lost that as well.
Yeah, I just enjoy fighting. I've always had the career philosophy that if it's offered, I say yes. The first Muay Thai fight I did a few months ago, it was just a last-minute fill-in. My teammate was under contract somewhere else, and they wouldn't let him fight, so they asked if I would be interested.
Oh, wow.
And I go out there and have some fun. With the Muay Thai, I do no special training. I don't look into the guy at all. I try and go out there and just see what happens, see what I will naturally do without putting any real thought into it. And so far, it's been working real well. I'm on a 4-fight Muay Thai win streak. Hopefully a 5-fight after early June.
Then it sounds like you're a natural-born fighter, huh, Sam?
Yeah, you know what? I hit pretty hard. I can take a hit pretty good, and I enjoy doing it. And I think that's about all it takes to be a natural fighter.
So when you're making the transition from MMA to like Muay Thai, do you kind of like think okay, no takedowns here, is it kind of a little more freeing? It's just a stand-up fight.
Yeah, my instinct is to, if I hit somebody, follow him down and finish him.
Yeah.
I tried to with Jason South, but the dude just wouldn't stay down. I did it with Jay Silva. In this last fight, I dropped him in the first, and the instinct was I was gonna pounce, and it was I started going and then I stopped, and the ref kind of looked at me like, you better not. And, so it did take. I almost made the mistake in my last one, but I caught myself before.
That's great. Hey, Sam, we'll let you go. We got a lot of stuff coming up. We got multiple fights coming up. We got MFC 40 on May 9th against Wes Swofford. MFC Middleweight Championships on the line. Sam, wish you best of luck, and thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us. Really appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me on. I love your show.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. Please visit FiveRoundMMA.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. FiveRoundMMA.com.
All right, welcome back. A big thank you to MFC Middleweight Champion Sam Alvey for the awesome interview. I think we're going to get, he's also obviously Middleweight Champion, pretty dominant in the MFC, but I want to talk about the dominant champions in all of UFC, MFC, Bellator, World Series of Fighting, MMA. Obviously, because Jon Jones last week continued his reign of dominance over Glover Teixeira. Guys, off the top of your head, who are some of the most dominant champions in MMA history? Anyone of you?
I'll let Guillermo go first.
Please answer. We are on a talk show.
Okay, so I'll start off. Jon Jones, obviously, he break the record. I know he hates talking about Jon Jones, so now let's shift it to the best. Cain Velasquez is the most dominant champion to ever walk the earth.
After what? I mean, like 2 title defenses?
It's not 2 title defenses. It's the competition. In my point of view right now, there's no one that can beat Cain Velasquez.
So I think, what are the criteria you see for dominant champion? What list of consecutive title defenses?
1.
Obviously methods of victory, right?
Yes. 2.
And then quality of opponents, right?
Yes. 3.
And that's what I was waiting for, to Alex to explain clearly what it means to be a dominant champion, and that's why I pick Brock Lesnar.
Who Cain Velasquez
beat, right?
But let's look at the title reign here, okay? He goes off and he beats the legend Randy Couture
to win the title.
To win the title.
Number 1 for me, right? Hold on.
TKO, right?
Yeah.
He goes and destroys Frank Mir. I mean, Frank Mir has never been the same after that beating he gave him.
That's true.
Let's keep it real.
True.
And then
he did break Nogueira's arm after that.
The comeback, the heard around the world, and he triangle chokes, or he submits Shane Carwin.
It wasn't a triangle.
At the time,
it was
the arm. But when Shane Carwin was supposedly, remember
undefeated.
the hype that Shane Carwin used to carry? You guys forget at that time. And then after Shane Carwin, Cain Velasquez wasn't the Cain Velasquez people know now. I mean, no, there was not a lot of Mexican fans out there that cheered Cain Velasquez. I guarantee you that.
I lost my voice that day.
People
well,
were
prior to that.
But people were lost. So like, dude, who are we gonna give Brock Lesnar to? So I'm thinking in that short period of time was very dominant. And also the fashion did it, and the hype behind it, and the pay-per-view sales that he did.
First of all, Brock Lesnar lost to Alistair Overeem.
Yeah.
Junior Dos Santos
when he wasn't champion.
It doesn't matter if they're champion or not. Junior Dos Santos will beat anybody in that heavyweight weight class.
Can you tell me the category?
Besides Cain Velasquez.
Dominant champion.
Dominant champion. Thank you.
I'm surprised just for
Oliver. I don't see you picking up your pin. That's the point.
I'm surprised Albert didn't mention Anderson Silva right off the bat
because of the quality of opponent. I mean,
that's what told her.
There's a time period where Anderson Silva, the quality of opponent wasn't really good,
and not just that. I think his long reign was actually worked against him. I think because he has amazing KOs, whatever, but he also has some boring decisions in there.
Yeah,
but it's because he was such in a long spread. I mean, if you were to take out those decision wins, I think it's easily hands down Anderson Silva because he did stuff that you only seen in the Matrix.
And to me, the dark horse in all this is Renan Barão. I think Renan Barão, the way he's finishing fights, the way he's taking on challengers. I think his title reign, now that it's becoming longer and longer, and all he needs to really now beat is Dominic Cruz to prove that he's the best in that weight class. But I think he's a dark horse. The
real true dark horse, let's keep it real, is GSP.
Okay, obviously,
because
quality of opponents.
Quality
but what about
opponents.
Methods of victory.
That's the only reason I wouldn't put him. That's why I say I went with Brock Lesnar off the bat.
Yeah,
because those were all impressive wins. GSP doesn't have the impressive win, but the quality of opponents. And these guys could easily be in champions. And look, let me just give you some names real quick. Let me just give you some. Matt Hughes, BJ Penn, John Fitch, Josh Koscheck in his own right. Jake Shields was a champion. Carlos Condit, Nick Diaz, your Wolf Ticket, Johnny Hendricks. Come on.
So, whose title reign would you like? Who was more dominant, Anderson Silva's or GSP's? Because they're at the same time.
I would say GSP just because on quality of opponent.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you know what's funny though?
He just named them out.
The whole time, execution of Anderson Silva
was
better.
Difference.
GSP was never ranked pound for pound number 1. It was always Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
But then it's kind of weird
because of the execution.
But you say, but who had the most dominant reign? It's kind of weird.
The thing when you think about it for pound, if you were to put Anderson Silva versus GSP, who would win in that fight? That's how I like to take a look into pound for pound, and I would say Anderson Silva. So that makes sense.
Also, we haven't mentioned Jose Aldo yet. I mean,
the thing about Jose Aldo is he's in a weight class where he's by himself.
Oh, really? He's by himself. That's funny.
Yes, because Conor McGregor's not there yet.
Maybe they should just throw someone at him, right? Someone that's talking, maybe like Conor McGregor, right?
I mean,
but wait, I thought.
And this guy I'm the Conor McGregor fan. This guy's not even a Conor McGregor fan.
Featherweights for
he hates Conor McGregor because he called out Diego Sanchez.
True. I mean,
And
but
yeah, he's
I think
defending
Jose Aldo's already mentioned because decision victories after a while now. I mean, Raquel Lamas decision, Frank Edgar decision, Kenny Florian decision, Mark Homick was a decision. So it's kind of like.
I just think it's funny that this guy complains so much on these decision victories, and then I bring out Henan Barao that's knocking people out, and then he bashes a guy.
What about Mighty Mouse?
I never bashed Henan Barao.
You just did right now.
Mighty Mouse pretty dominant.
We're talking about Jose Aldo.
But then his problem is the same thing.
Yeah, switching it up. We're talking about Jose Aldo. I hope you're hearing this. We're talking about Jose Aldo, but then it goes to Henan Barao.
Can you pay attention to Alex,
what about
please?
Fedor back in Pride?
Nah, man.
No?
You know what? At first, I was into the Fedor thing, but I'll take the Dana White route. I mean, who did he fight?
What about Tito back in the day?
That's the same quality of opponent.
Chuck Liddell.
And if he's going to bring Brock Lesnar, they might as well bring up Chuck Liddell. Because everybody was scared of him.
Oh, yeah, because he fought the cream of the crop at
But
the
way
time,
it's
yeah.
finishing.
Well, I mean,
he had some title defense against people that had losing records.
Yeah.
He had a title defense, a guy that came off of a loss.
But all of his title defenses ended by knockout.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you this. Randy Couture had a winning streak, and then he met Brock Lesnar. Frank Mir had a winning streak, then he met Brock Lesnar. Shane Carwin had one of the biggest winning streaks, and then he met Brock Lesnar.
So Ronda Rousey carrying from Strikeforce into UFC hasn't lost yet. It's
The thing is, women's division is a little bit difficult right now.
It's
new to us.
For her, it's something that we have to look back afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing.
Yeah, because there's really no, besides Gina Carrao and Cyborg.
Because right now, everything's getting pretty structured in the women's division.
Exactly.
And then there's still some fights out there that people still think that should have been done before the other fights that just already happened against her. So
true. Frank Shamrock, he retired from the UFC because of lack of opponents. How dominant is that?
If you're gonna name a Shamrock, give me Ken Shamrock, not Frank.
Well, we're not talking about the Intercontinental Championship because then you will be correct, sir. Because
that was a pretty dominant reign.
He had an impressive Intercontinental Championship.
So I think, love him or hate him, Jon Jones seems to be.
I like to thank everybody for listening.
Rampage,
producer,
Rashad, Vitor Belfort, Chael Sonnen, Gustafsson, Glover Teixeira. I mean,
and that's why I bring up Jon Jones first, and then Cain Velasquez because Jon Jones will lose to Cain Velasquez.
In an era of the complete mixed martial artists, I mean, love him or hate him, Jon Jones is dominant, right? Because back in the day, you get Chuck was a specialist.
All I have to do is bring up that he beat Lyoto the Dragon Machida, and he
with that said, let's run down the sponsors because we're out of time.
What about the Machida era, the Dragon era? Remember, Joe Rogan? The Machida era has now begun.
And he's the one that jinxed us too. If he wouldn't have just said that.
All right, then until next week, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. Make sure it's FiveRoundMMA. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Podomatic, and always check out.
If you want to stay on the real MMA beat, listen to 5 Round MMA.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not gonna argue
that. Yeah. Top rated stars.
Hold on, let me get to overtimenation.com.
Where you can read all articles.
Read my article on Conor McGregor, not Albert's.
even Ollie LaTrolli's soccer reviews.
Contributes to the MLS beat, the UEFA.
If you really want to know about the Chicago Fire, that's the place to go because Oliver's a big Chicago Fire fan.
Overtimenation.com for read articles, commentaries from everything from professional wrestling to fantasy, the NFL, NHL, Lob City. Like I said, MLS, so make sure to follow them on Twitter at overtime_nation.com. They're always also looking for writers as well, too, so just contact them on their page. I also thank the Madhouse clothing line for the fighter and fight fanatic. Go shop themadhouse.com and follow them on Twitter at the Madhouse MMA. And while you're following them, follow us. Follow Redemption Martial Arts at _RedemptionMA. Hashtag MMA Against Bullying for your chance to win a free T-shirt. Contest is coming to an end because it ends once we get 100 followers, right?
800.
So
yeah, we're about like
100.
What, 790, 780. So we need 20
more. So
we're there.
Get on it. And also, before we end the show, Charlie, who's today's top-rated star of the show? Albert.
Wow.
Top-rated star.
And you know what I messed up on is I insulted the guy by saying he's a Chicago Fire fan.
You had it until then.
Yeah.
Top Rated Star is brought to you by TopRatedMMA.com, makers of 100% American-made MMA apparel. Go shop TopRatedMMA.com. Follow them on Twitter at TopRatedMMA. And also, big thank you to Redemption Martial Arts. Rise up against bullying. Go to RedemptionMartialArts.com to see how you can join the movement to stop bullying. Follow them on Twitter at Redemption_MA. I think that's it, right? Is there any WWE Network plugs, Albert?
Yeah, there's plenty to do network plugs, but first, I would like to thank your executive producer, Guillermo Cita, our engineer there, Ollie the Trolley. If you want to dispute his Chicago Fire claim, you can hit him up at og.FiveRoundMMA@gmail.com. Use it, it works.
I don't think that's OG.
Isn't it OG, Gelvis? Or whatever. And I'd like to thank Steven for
Steven Razzo.
Steven Razzo with Razzo Records.
Let's talk about Jon Jones. He's all riled up. Can't even finish the segment.
So hit him up for any of your sound needs. If you haven't checked out Legends House, you should. And if you haven't got WWE Network, guess what? They're bringing Tough Enough back. And so
the original reality show.
Yep, the original reality, the one that started everything, not the real world. It was Tough Enough. All right, keep it. Let's keep it true. All right.
Hogan, I'm coming for you. Oh yeah.
And thank you for listening.